Welcome to the virtual career fair hosted by the Sustainable Community Aid Network, featuring an interview with teacher and guidance counselor Ada Esonwanne.
All right, so why don't you first start off by introducing yourself and what you do for a living?
Okay, so my name is Ada Esonwanne, and I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for the past 14 years, and I'm just transitioning my role as a teacher into a guidance counselor starting in September.
So what does a typical day look for you?
Okay, so as a teacher, of course, you're delivering lessons every day. Before COVID, I used to have 3 classes every day. And so for each of these classes, I'm prepping the material. And because I teach science, I'm also prepping for the labs or any activities, hands-on activities that the kids have to do. I'm taking attendance, I'm addressing behavioral concerns, I'm doing assessments and also marking them, recording them, reaching out to parents about any concerns I may have. And then some extracurricular involvement within the school as a whole. So it's a very busy day on a typical day. Every day is busy, just different things happening.
So why did you want to become a teacher or a guidance counselor? What made you want to be in education?
So I come from a long line of teachers back to my grandparents, and I've always admired the impact that teachers have on the lives of people. Whoever they become had a teacher one day. And so I recognize that teachers hold a key role in success for most people. And so I thought it was I liked the idea of being making that impact in people's lives. And so even though when I came originally from Nigeria after my university education in Nigeria, I started working in a bank. But when I came to Canada, I decided to change careers and go into teaching as a career.
So what steps would you recommend someone to take in finding a career in education?
So, I mean, education is one of those jobs that you have to be passionate about it. You can't just do it as a job every day. You actually have to care about the students. You have to care about their well-being, and not just educational or academic. You have to care about their emotional well-being, because as a teacher, you're dealing with all of that, all the social emotional component. So first thing is that you need to care enough. We keep hearing the term that education or for teachers, it is a vocation. It's a calling much more than just a career. So you need to care enough. And if you find that you do care enough, then the steps, of course, are you have to go to university. There are different programs right now. Sometimes it's the concurrent program, which is when you're doing your first degree as well as your education degree. And so it's a 6-year in total. Or a consecutive program where you first finish a first degree, and then you go to teachers college. So for me, I did a consecutive program. I went back to the University of Toronto to do my teacher education program. In that time, back in the day, it used to be only a 1-year program, but right now it's a 2-year program. And so if you're interested in that, for sure, you want to make sure that you're taking a note of what it is that you want to teach. In high school, you have to be specialized. In elementary, you basically teach everything. But in high school, for example, I'm a science teacher, and that's because my first degree was a science degree. And so it qualifies me to teach it. So depending on which age group you're leaning towards, you may need to take additional qualifications to teach that age group.
So what were some challenges you had to face in order to get to where you are today?
So as an immigrant, the challenges are many. So consider the fact that coming into a new country, starting all over again, going back to school. At the time I went to teachers college, I was a new mother. I had just had my baby in July, and I went back to school in September. So I had to juggle taking care of my new baby, learning, and also in a new country with everything was new in terms of the system and how things worked. Even the cultural shock, of having to adjust in a new country. So that was challenging. And then, of course, but I tried my best and I did well. And of course, when I went back to when I eventually got a job in the classroom, a lot of the challenges also came from that different background. Sometimes people don't take you as seriously, or they don't think you are smart enough until you prove it. Sometimes you have to work twice as hard to earn the same amount of respect, right? So those were some of the challenges that I faced.
So in your field or being a teacher, what are some specific aspects do you like about it?
Also, I love the fact that I'm able to relate and connect with students one-on-one, and to even together as a classroom. We learn from each other. Sometimes my students are my greatest teachers. I learn their experiences, I learn their challenges, I learn how they overcome. Students can be very resilient. I enjoy that interaction with students. I enjoy the fact that we learn together. Sometimes I don't even know the answers to some of the questions, and then we go and we find it out together. And when I see my students graduate and come back to thank me, that is the icing on the cake, because it means that I made an impact. Or when I read the yearbook and I see that they're, special shout out to me for whatever it is I have impacted in their lives, that is very rewarding.
Yeah. So my last question for you is, if you had some advice for aspiring teachers or guidance counselors, what would you say to them?
Well, I would say, work hard, do your best, be in the moment, occupy your space, never apologize. I remember in my first year, I used to always say to my students, oh, I know I have an accent. I'm sorry if you don't understand me. But I think that was a mistake looking back, because what it showed was that I wasn't comfortable in my skin. And so be yourself. The diversity that you bring will only improve the experience that the students have. Learn to work hard and be willing to go the extra mile, because a lot of times as teachers, we go beyond what we're being paid for. Lots of weekends we're working over even past our regular school days. You will find us working one thing or the other, either trying to call a parent or do some marking, or even help the students in their extracurricular, supervise the students. So you're always going to be doing way more than you're paid for. And so you really need to love what you do.
All right. So that's all the questions I have for you today. Thanks again for participating in the career fair, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.